Hey gang, Mark Stedman here with another tutorial here for the events team. I'd like to take a few minutes and go over the calling list functionality. Now the calling list functionality is designed for rapid processing of many phone calls. We know that the events team makes many phone calls in a given day, and so the idea is to reduce the number of clicks that you need so that you can get as many phone calls turned out as possible without a lot of interaction with your system. So the way that you access that is you go to Event Manager and you click on Calling List. In this demo, I only have a few calls queued up because I don't actually have any events that are mine, and so I don't have too many calls scheduled, but you might have several hundred phone calls in your queue. Couple ways that you can work with this list. You've got an all events drop-down list. Now, if you select an event from there, what you'll see when you pop it out is all the events that are yours. I do not have any events, so right now I can't filter. But I did test this out extensively in QA, and it works well. What that's going to do is it's going to pull all of the phone calls that are set as regarding a given event. So just a little bit of clarity here. The banquet qualifications column, what that's showing you is the banquets that a given donor falls into the zip and radius. So James Clancy and his family here, they might go to either Hauppauge or Baldwin because they're in the zip and radius for both. But their call is actually related to one or the other, and it just depends on which one you did activity generation from. If you're curious about which one it is, we've added a function here on the description. You'll see now this is a hyperlink, so I can click on banquet phone call, and then I can see that the call is actually regarding 291. If I can't remember which location 291 is, I can click there, and I can see that that is the Baldwin, New York one. It sort of doesn't matter because the idea of the calling list is I'm going to call the donor about participating in helping out with the banquet. While I'm talking to them, they're going to tell me which one is the one they want to go to. And that's why I've got a to participation link for each of the locations, and that'll pre-fill that. So let's back up just a little bit, get into some of the details here. I've got this list, and it is ordered with the most important calls at the front. We added this column, which is P to V. That's propensity to volunteer, and that's a score. I can give you all the details on the metric if you really want to know, but it looks at their previous team involvements, and it looks at how recently they've come and a bunch of other factors, and tries to give a score that says how likely is this person to help out with this volunteer, to help out with the banquet. And up here we've added just a little explanation for the colors. So if they have a P to V higher than 26 or higher, they get they get green. If they fall in this middle range, 5 to 25, they get yellow. And if they're below that because they haven't ever participated before, then it'll just be white, like down here. So a couple other things we've added. You can now see the due date. This is the date that you selected when you were generating activities. So you can see, okay, these are due for the 22nd. In this case, these would be overdue because today is the 23rd that I'm making this video. So these are high priority, get these made. So the idea is I would get ready to call these folks. If I'm satisfied with the information that is available to me from right here, I know what I want to talk to them about, that's fine. I can go ahead and make the call. If I've got Skype click to call, I can do that, or I can punch the number into my phone and call. If I would like to get more detail about the particular donor, it's hyperlinked here on the name, so you could pop the family out and see the rest of their detail if you want their full donor record. That's just loading up here. So that's their full contact record. Participations are down here. Well, one little change we made yesterday is now in Power One view, when you look at the participations, the detail lists the city, so you can see that. And if you click on it and you open the reading pane on the right hand side, you can also see what role they filled. So that is helpful. Another way that you can see more information before you call them, when we go back here to the calling list, Like I showed before, you can now click on the description of the call. That'll take you to the actual phone call record. And you have this panel on the right that gives you their giving, their different banquet stuff, communications that we've had with them recently, and the family relations. If you are not seeing this layout, there are actually two phone call layouts available. One is called information, one is called phone call. If you drop this down and you click information, it will switch to this. So if when you open up the phone call record, you're getting a view that looks like this, you can switch it to information and that will persist. The preference to see this form will persist from here forward. So you'll only have to do that one time. So let me back to the calling list. All right, so let's say I've made my call and I reached the family and they would like to help out, and they let me know that they would like to help out with Baldwin. So I click to participation to create a participation. The form will open up with the event already populated, the contact already populated, and team member yes. So if they are going to take any other role, you can just click on any of these. You can put any notes in here that are appropriate, and you can do save and close. I'm not going to do save and close because that would create false information for, I think that's Noel's area. So I will not personally save it. I'm just going to back it back up. And I'm not going to save the changes, but you would save the changes. So let's say I did not reach them and I've tried enough times and I could not reach them. The other options I have here to basically close out this phone call would be, if they have a bad phone number, we just added that because several people expressed the fact that they want to record that it's a bad number. So if you hit bad phone number, that will close out the call and it'll log that it's a bad phone number. That doesn't delete the phone number off the record or anything like that right now, but at least it logs into your record that the reason that you didn't get a hold of them because it was a bad phone number. Could not reach, self-explanatory, just couldn't get a hold of them. Canceled would imply that you canceled the phone call for a good reason. Maybe you have enough people on your team already and the calls were getting pretty cold, so you decide to cancel the rest of them, something like that. In this case, I am actually going to cancel this one to show you what happens. So if I cancel that, it just goes away. The other calls shift up to the top, keep going. If I talk to them and they would like to participate, but let's say they're going to be in another area or something when the banquets actually roll around and neither of these is the right areas for them to participate. If I do to participation from over here in the actions area, that pops open a participation that has no event assigned. So you would then pick from all of the possible events. I don't have any events, so none come up. If when you use it, it will pop up with events that you own, so that you will have that. That's why you would use that. The follow-up button here basically closes out the current phone call, says that you made it, and allows you to quickly schedule another follow-up. So this is useful if you talk to the person, they let you know that they want to participate, or they say, I need to talk to you in a week or something like that. So when you hit follow-up, pick the date that you want to follow up with them and add in whatever appropriate notes. Okay, and when I click create call, that'll create a future call and it'll close out the current one. So we should see Earl Mitchell and family disappear. Yep, and away they went. So just processing through the list here, moving on through. The other thing, the other three options are the negatory. So if the person says they can't help this time, you'll do workflow can't help this time, and that will set a date so that they don't come back into your call queue if you process through the list and want to make some more calls. If they say no teams, they're basically letting you know that from here forward, they're no longer going to be able to help out with teams. You know, this happens sometimes because people are getting elderly or just a variety of reasons that they want to permanently express that they no longer wish to be called to help out with team recruiting. And then no invite would be, maybe they can't even come to the events anymore because they've reached an age that they don't go out at night or things like that, or just any other reason that they're basically letting you know, look, I just don't want to even be invited anymore. So if you do no invite, they won't be invited and they won't come up in your recruiting calling workflow ever again. So it's pretty heavy hammer, but there's definitely times when it's appropriate to use that. So that's why all three of those are there. Another important piece of functionality that we added just yesterday was search for people. So I know sometimes your call queue gets very deep, hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, and you just want to follow up with one particular person that you have on your mind. You can just type a name in here, and it works for first name or last name. So if I put in, I've got the Singleton down here. If I put this and I search, it will find just that one. Or I could have also just typed in John, and it would find them there. And if you want to clear that out, just put your cursor back into the field, clear that out, and hit search with it blank, and it'll bring everybody back up. So that is the basic workflow here. You can see down here the ones that I've set for follow-up change from banquet phone call to follow-up, so you know those are future phone calls. And you can see the due dates that are set. So I hope that's helpful. Don't hesitate to call if you have any questions, and I look forward to continuing to refine this to be exactly what you need. Have a great day. Bye-bye.